Nice. Okay. So I think I have set everything up. I have this. Don't judge the bird, judge the man. You're like, what you doing? Start the video already. The answer is, I am doing multiple things at multiple times. So as you guys might not know, I am a programmer. I have done websites, video games, and that's basically what I do. By saying that, what I'm saying is I'm working on a project, and I really can't decide hmm, graphics. Story is a basic story, and by graphics I mean how the layout is going to be for the game. So right now I'm just looking at the pro code I have, uh, contemplating what I should do. I'm thinking, first of all, I like art in general. I've done music, art, whatever. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do a remix of, if you guys heard it before, the Chobits opening song. Well, not a remix per se. It's just I like the rhyme and how they go about it, and I'm just like, for the type of game I'm thinking of creating, which is a visual novel, I'm thinking that will work better. It just gives it a little. And you know what? Instead of just like saying it, I could just try and play it. I think that's copyright free, right? But just so, bits cover. I know that's not how you spell it. Here it is. I'm gonna put the cover here, so the person can get credit for it.
Liam Lee! To make sure it's perfect, I'll cast a magic spell. Can't help but smile when I
So I'm thinking of having a similar beat to that. I just enjoy it. Oh boy, I'm just doing so much. Label bot intro. Okay. So right now I am coding the prologue scene dialogue, which I'm still working on, but I need the prologue, well, the layout of the prologue so I can work towards that. Because I'm having a person help me with the dialogue. So basically, I will get the summary, scene breakdown, and give it to another person so they can basically edit and critique what I have and maybe add on to it. Then I will edit and do the same thing. So that's how we're going to do that. It's basically I have a summary of the plot, break the summary down from beginning, middle, end. Beginning, the beginning has three parts, middle has three parts, and the final has three parts. And then because it's a dating sim kind of visual novel situation, it's going to have branching paths. So this is a very text heavy, choice heavy game, but the ending, I'm thinking of doing something like there's a core ending, but then there's branching endings. Since it's a dating system, indicating a visual novel. Now, the problem I have with it is the more I write down this plot summary, the more I want to add onto it, and adding onto it deviates from the original plot in Go. For instance, real world versus high fantasy versus middle. Real world is just regular dating sim that has personal drama that is very interesting for character reasons. High fantasy has like your wildest dreams come true, right? Magic, gods, demons, whatever. And in the middle, it's a mixture of tech, fantasy, magic, whatever. All of these stories have very complex situations. Choosing, I think that's called the setting. Choosing the setting is very key in this type of game I'm programming. Well, at the moment, I'm thinking of doing uh, modern, no fantasy, but at the same time, I really want to high fantasy towards it. But the more I think about it, the more it compromises the story. So think of it as once you think of a story, it branches off. So this whole concept is another story. So you have to pocket that and keep working on your towards goal, but keep that in the back of your mind. That's how I'm thinking of it, or that's how it's working out for me. And it's really, man, I don't even know why that tangent came along. I guess I was just thinking about the game. This right here is when I say a random stream, I mean random stream where I'm talking and working. Okay. Also, I'm coding everything myself, so that's going to be scene transitions, uh, encounters. Everything is just me coding. So this is going to be interesting. Like, what kind of art style are you doing if you're doing a visual novel? I still haven't found an artist, but I am an artist myself. So here's the thing: I'm doing the concept art, and then I might hire somebody else to basically use different art style. Well, not different art style, similar art style, but better. Like somebody who's an amateur versus someone that's pro to redraw what I draw into a similar but better style, and hopefully they can make it improve upon it. If not, I'll just get somebody else to do it. You know, it's like why don't you just do everything yourself? But it's quality and quantity. You know, from what I can see, it's like basically like I said, I'm a programmer. I've done websites, games before. It's like working with a team. It's like you know how your specific strengths, and I'm just a coder most of the time. I do enjoy art, music, and all that stuff. I can give an opinion based on the experience I've accumulated, but I'm not experienced in that specific field as an expert. You know, I'm 10,000 hours in that field to make you an expert most of the time. At best, when it comes to character creation and styling, I've done sketches. I've done a little like canvas coloring, not pro and not digital. So that's where I'm gonna get people. Now, back to the prologue. Right now, I have the encounter with the, I would say, NPC's love interest. So there's four girls I'm thinking of as love interest for this. Four girls is the minimum right now. I will add on from when the story expands, so you can meet them at different places, like meeting different girls at the mall, the pub, the amusement park, like what triggers it and what adds onto it. Minimum is four girls, four different stories, and four paths you can follow. The real problem with the dating sims is like your end goal is dating sim is your end goal scrub, but I want a visual novel dating sim. What that indicates for story wise for me is I have to have a personal story for the character you create alongside a dating one, so they can meet their ultimate goal. The prime example I can think of is Persona series, mostly Persona 5 and 4, where it's a moderate fantasy I discussed earlier, but the main goal is not the dating aspect, it's the goal to save something. So I think I'm trying to figure out how to do that as a visual novel dating game based in real world ethics. Now, most games do this by saying maybe indicating you owe money, so you have to pay that off, and that incorporates into an organization, their shady deals, and ultimately you have to you can save yourself, bring down the bank or whatever. That's one aspect of the go, but I don't know. I feel like that's a lot of played out, but I do like tropes. Tropes are fun because every trope has a little sprinkle of individuality to it if you do it well. So maybe him owing money. I don't know. Uh, maybe getting blackmailed into something. So I might just do a live stream dev diary where I just code and do everything on stream. I'm getting back to the coding of this. So what I'm doing now is I have some dialogue, but I would say this is the rough draft of it. So this is basically the encounter. So what I'm thinking now, as talking now, I'm thinking I should have like another pre something before this to talk about. For instance, like a self introduction of I give Persona 5 as an example, something that he meets the counter that I'm writing right now. So yeah, it's ever changing. We're going to see. I've sent the dialogue out to somebody, so they're gonna work on that already. But I'm thinking like, while they're working, I could be working. I am working on coding wise. Also, after I finish this, I'm going to go back to the encounter to user interface. So I'm styling it up how I want to. And what I really need to decide is how detailed am I going to go into the time aspect of it, because most time management dating sims require time management services. I can go month, date, year, time. Well, it's time of the year. But here's the problem. I think the month, I think month I think day and time is key, but I do not know about month. I might add it on. So I have the system where it's based in year, month, date, and time already. But I have it calculated that it only shows on the user interface or screen the month, not the month, sorry, the day and the time. I don't know what I can do with month. Maybe as I progress with the coding, I can rework the interface to have key events happening in the month. But I think that will require the game to have a set date. Well, I can't. So much stuff to think about when you're designing, you know? So let's keep on going. Keep on going. So, also, I would like to say, like, I first worked on main characters' background story a lot in this because I wanted it to be somewhat tropey, tragic, but at the same time not too tragic because I feel like unless you have a solid story aspect of it, this type of game will not work. For instance, if he was traumatized in this film, I would assume that overcoming the trauma would be the goal of the game. Because you have to write the dialogue. All right. No, let's talk about it. Let's see. Right now, I've scrapped the past summary. Right now, the main character is returning to his old home as a kid, like in the trophy things, and time has passed, so he has to deal with the timing passes and getting reacquainted and facing the past and overcoming it. That's the general aspect of it. Now, the major goal of the story, I would say, is somewhat self growth. But, like I said, deciding if it's modern, high fantasy, or just in between can decide a lot of things. Since I'm trying to go with modern, I'm trying to think of something feasible he can do. What is feasible is the question. What can we do is another question. Well, let's just go with I don't know. I have no idea. Well, we'll continue working on that. While we're working, let's listen to some Bill Maher.
Being nice and vague. This sounds scummy already. I like you, sir. I don't know where, but I see her around every so often. Oh, you just don't know where she lives. I thought you were saying, hey, there's this chick. She lives somewhere around my place. I don't want to get into it, but let's just say she sucked my dick in an establishment that had a roof where you wouldn't get wet if it rained. The problems are, number one, I'm 15. It sucks. No, it doesn't, dude. It's great to be 15. It's great to be 15. You know? You got a lot of freedom. And so is she. Okay. So what's the problem? Jesus Christ, what do you want to do with this girl? He goes, we just finished elementary school in Serbia. And we used to go to separate grades. And number 2, I think I love her. She's really smart, beautiful, and funny, the usual. And me, looks-wise, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm slightly above 5. Jesus, come on, man. All right, first of all, my first piece of advice is sit up straight when I'm reading this to you. Come on, man. I'm going to build you up by the end of this. 5 feet out, tall, and I like to waste my time listening to a 40-year-old pasty fellow who complains about his big head and overpopulation. My problem is we haven't ever had the chance to properly introduce ourselves to one another. I sometimes see her on the tram and wave to her just to make sure she acknowledges my existence. That's good, dude. You're in the game. You got your uniform on. You got your foot on the top step of the dugout. You're not in the batter's box yet. You're not even on the on-deck circle swinging the 2 bats, but you're there. All right? I like this. Okay? You're making positive moves here. Okay. So, he goes, I want to ask her on a date, but I don't know her yet. Can you tell me what to do? Greetings from Serbia. Come over sometime so that we can kidnap you. Hey, was that the place where did that place used to be the country that Clinton bombed because he stuck that cigar in that girl's twat? Sorry about that. You know? Wouldn't that be fucking ridiculous? I go over there and I take an ass kicking for Bill Clinton. You know? I just think the fact that my name is Bill, that right there, that would be enough for them. But anyways, all right, so what is your problem? You want to ask her out on a date. Well, you wave to her. This is what look, you can't just wave to somebody on the tram and then just get in their grill and ask them out. You know, you got to because you kind of know her. You know what I mean? Look, if you just meet a girl on the train, this is what you do. This is what I used to do. I would wait for somebody to do something, like some crazy person to get on, and they would do something fucked up. I would hope that would happen. Because I didn't have game to just walk up and start talking to somebody. But in New York, somebody always did something fucking weird. And then, there's that moment where somebody's doing something fucked up that strangers look at each other like, are you fucking kidding me? And that's like an opportunity to kind of maybe say something funny if you're sitting next to him. He's sitting across from him. I didn't have sitting across from you game. Who's kidding who? I didn't have a lot of game. Why the fuck are you asking me? All right, what would I do here? All right, so you're doing that. Why don't you properly introduce yourself? Start chatting with her. You know? And don't introduce yourself tipping your hand like you're going to ask her out, like, hello, my name is Lawrence Serbia Jr., and, getting down on one knee. Just say what's up to her. Shoot the shit with her, make her fucking laugh. You know? You gotta get yourself in her world. You know? Who knows? She could be on the other side of that train going, why is that cunt just waving at me? You know? Why doesn't he come over here? Doesn't he know that I'd like to go to the Serbian Cineplex if it still stands up? I was just picturing a bombed-out movie theater that's like sort of a drive-in but also has seats. I'm sorry. I am the ugly American right now. You know what? Because you wrote to me, I'm going to try and learn a little bit more about your country. Is that over there near Bosnia and Herzegovina? Huh? Slovenia? El Jubljana, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to be honest. Eastern Europe scares me for that exact reason. You know what they should do? Rather than just showing you, like they should in a geographical way show you where all the countries are, and then also in everybody's country they should have kidnapped countries, cool but it's not worth going, and this place sucks or whatever. You know what I mean? They should group them up like that. You know, could get kidnapped here. You could have weed. You know, you could have your boogie board stolen and replaced with weed, and now you're going to get fucking put to death. Where's that, in Bali? I don't know. So that's what I would do. All right. I think it's great that you're actually, waving.
I'm messing up. I am so I'm going to do some more research on streaming so I can get better at it.
To this girl and everything.
I'm just random all over the place right now. It's just not entertaining. So, we're going to figure this out. I'm going to make an outline of what I have to do in the future and just create a checklist. Until then, thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.